trouble town.
Grima, go to King Theodred and give him a message that he must send his son to go and save the people of the West March. We will have troops ready for him at the fords of Isen and trap the little brat and kill him. Go, Grima. Fly. Make haste.
The First Battle of the Fords of Isen. The Dunlending's attacks upon the villages of the Westfold and the mustering of Sauron's armies in Isengard have not gone completely unnoticed by those within Rohan. News of the White Wizard's armies reached the ears of the Prince of Rohan via his trusted scouts, and Theodred began to gather to him, a force to take Sauron's armies by surprise at the Fords of Isen. However, Sauron had weaved a cunning ruse tricking the scouts into delivering information they believed to be true, but would instead lure Theodred into a trap. Upon arriving at the Fords of Isen, Theodred ordered some of his men to stay back and protect the flanks as he and a band of followers crossed the Isen. It was here that Sauron's forces sprung their trap, catching the Prince of Rohan unawares and leaving him stranded on the fords and away from the support of his armies. With Theodred engaged in a fight for his life against the Uruk-hai and Dunlendings, Grimbold makes haste to the prince's side, bringing his Helmingas with him to the fight. Yet even as things look hopeless, news of Isengard's attack upon the fords has reached Elfhelm, who now rides with his Eored to Theodred's aid. If the Rohirrim cannot prevent the Uruk-hai from crossing the Fords of Isen, then Sauron will control the path into Rohan, and Theodred shall surely be slain.
The layout of the board represents the Fords of Isen. There should be a river that is 6 inches wide flowing down the center of the board from north to south. In the middle of the river is a ford, a 6-inch wide area in the center of the river that can be crossed as normal. The rest of the board is mainly bare fields with the odd bush, hedge, and tree dotted around as scattered terrain. The starting positions. The good player deploys Theodred on the eastern side of the River Isen, as close to the center of the board as possible. The good player then deploys the 12 warriors of Rohan on the eastern side of the river and within 6 inches of Theodred. The good player then deploys Grimbold and the Helmingas within 12 inches of the eastern board edge. The evil player then deploys his entire force within 18 inches of the western board edge. All other models are kept aside until later. The objectives. The forces of Sauron have been tasked with slaying the young prince and securing the fords, allowing Sauron's armies an easier route into Rohan. The game will last for 12 turns. The evil player wins if they can slay Theodred and get 12 or more models onto the eastern side of the board before the game ends. The good player wins if they can prevent both of these from happening. If the evil player only completes one objective, the game is a draw. Special rules. The River Isen can only be forded in the fords. The rest of the river is counted as deep water. Theodred's Doom. Rule number 2. Saruman has commanded that Theodred must be slain. Evil models must re-roll failed to wound rolls against Theodred in the fight phase. Rule number 3. Elfhelm. Upon receiving word of Theodred's predicament, he leads his followers to the prince's aid. During the end phase of each turn, the good player must roll a d6 and add the turn number to the result. If the result is 8 or more, Elfhelm and the remaining good models will arrive at the end of the good player's next movement phase from the eastern board edge via the rules for reinforcements. Participating in this battle, on the good side, will be Theodred, heir of Rohan with horse and shield, Elfhelm, captain of Rohan with horse, Grimbold of Grimslade, 12 riders of Rohan, 4 with throwing spears, 8 with no additional equipment. 24 warriors of Rohan, 8 with shield, 8 with throwing spear and shield, and 8 with bow. Half of the warriors of Rohan may be upgraded to be Helmingas. 3 outriders on horse are also included. For the evil side, you have Grosku, Thrydan Wolfsbane, 24 Uruk-hai scouts, 8 with Uruk-hai bow, 8 with shield, and 8 with no additional equipment. 9 Dunlending warriors, 3 with shield, 3 with two-handed axe, 3 with bow, and 6 warg riders, 2 with shield, 2 with orc bow, and 2 with throwing spears.
Theodred was crossing the fields of Isen. The plan was simple: go into the West March and stop the roving bands of Uruk-hai and Dinland from burning any more Rohan villages. But what was this? On the edge of the forest, warg riders and a band of Uruk-hai scouts. That'd be a large orc with a crossbow. The Uruk weren't this crafty. And there, Thrydan Wolfsbane coming from the forest as well, with a band of doomed warriors. His small bodyguard, we could hold them at the forts of Isen. We have to hold them at the forts, otherwise they could come through. And Grimbold behind us, he must come haste to the fore. Bring his Helmingas. Where was Elfhelm? Elfhelm was out scouting. He needed to come quickly. Sound the horns! Sound the horns! Said Theodred. The battle started. Rohan wins the priority. Calling a heroic move, Theoden falls back, knowing that they are there, spring in this ambush to take his life. But no, he reconfigures his bodyguard into a shield wall type of formation. His men prepare to sell their lives dearly, blocking the hordes from passing this narrow forge. Readdressing their ranks, Theoden eyeballs the orc hordes, knowing that Vrosku has called a heroic move as well. But Rohan stands fast and moves first. Naku, Uruk, general of this warband, calls forth his heroic movement. And screams, "Charge! Charge, war riders! Charge! Eat man flesh!" And the war riders charge into the awaiting Rohan lines. First to spill blood. Moving at a fast pace, they crash into the lines of the Rohirrim. "Hold fast," says Theodred. "Hold fast!" And the rest of the Uruk-hai scouts rush forth to support the warg riders. Thrydan follows as well with his Dunlending warriors, but all of the archer troops stay put as they trade fire with the Rohirrim. Rohan let their shafts fly, downing several orc archers. The orc archers fired on the flanks, holding the folds, and their arrows did not pierce shield and chainmail. The orc riders crashed into the riders of Rohan, defending the folds. The first warg was slain by a spear shaft to the gullet. The next warg rider slammed into the rider of Rohan warrior and pushed him back, but failing to kill him, his shield blocking the blow. The next two spears of the Rohan warriors penetrated the leather armor of the warg rider, whereas the other warg rider was driven off. Two sees the Isengard horde win priority. Theodred calls heroic move. Vrosku calls a heroic move as well. And Isengard wins the roll. The Warg Riders charge in again at the lines of the Rohan that are thinning. Orcs with shields, Urkai with shields and swords charge in to fill the gaps in between the wargs. The archers move up to be better range to shoot their black shafted arrows at the flanks of the Rohirrim line, waiting in the Isen. More orcs pile in.
Jotun cries, to me, Grimbold! Fill the lines! And hold them! Hold fast! Screams Theodred, as the riders of Rohan warriors fill the holes trying to stop the incursion of the Uruk-hai horde pressing hard against them.
Combat round of turn 2 starts out with the Rohan warriors getting pushed back on their right flank. Another Rohan slain. Pushing back again. The Warg Rider in the middle. Rohan are slightly victorious, but then fail again. To the Rohan Warg Rider slays another warrior of Rohan. And again, Rohan is pushed back. And another warrior slain. It is a grim day. A grim round. A red round. As 4 warriors of Rohan lost their lives. And no orc fell. After the last round of combat, it sees the warriors on their heels being pushed back past the first stream of the Isen onto the sandbar. And Roscoe calls a heroic move, as does Theodred. But of course, Roscoe has one priority for his heroic action. The orcs move in, pushing the Rohan warriors back even further. Is there no end? Where is Elfhelm? Get in there, Grimbold. We need your axe. In round 3, went to the Rohirrim as they pushed back the Uruk scum on all sides. Grimbold slew a warg rider, and all of the rest of the Rohirrim pushed back the orcs, and no Rohan warrior fell. Better, but they would need more to win this day. Isengard gets the priority. Theodred and Roscoe have run out of might points, so the Uruk-hai scouts charge into the Rohirrim. Thin line that it is. Rohirrim had a good turn last phase, hopefully to repeat again. They desperately wish. The Uruk-hai need to force their hand. See if they can break the Rohirrim warriors. Say, push their troops far into the Rohan line. Rohan responds with movements of its own. Whereas the left of the line is pinned down. The right pushes out. Crossing the Isen for the first time. On the bank of the Isen, attacking the Uruk-hai scouts. Taking a little bit of the battle to the Uruk. They're so close to breaking. It'll only take about 4 to 5 Uruk-hai down. Flank of the Rohirrim already takes casualties. None can be spared. Death is on the sandbar. Even the hero takes a wound with only one wound left. Grimbold fights on. Fight continues. And on the right side, more orcs are slain.
The Rohan warriors push their spirit tips and their axes, making them drink deep water. So we come across to turn 5. Thrydan is called a heroic move, as well as Grimbald. Theodred being out of might, Roscoe being out of might. The armies stop for. Priority goes to Rohan. Priority for the heroic action that is. So Grimbald calls forth his Hemligas and warriors of Rohan both into the fray. Front lines attacking. Theodred is weary from battle. Falls off his horse multiple times, it seems. Almost to the point of silliness. The right flank of the Rohan warriors continues as they cross the Isen to bring battle to the Urukai. The narrator seems quite confused. Head down the mount. Theodred falls from his horse again. Now we enter Monty Python's circus of rolling miniatures. Sometimes bodies get in the way. Rohan warriors have set up almost a wall using the boar rider that's pinned down, so they can't be overwhelmed too badly. Turn 5. Combat. On the right flank, the Rohan Hemlingas, who've ventured out so far, saving the flank
were pushed back in combat but not slain. Their Rohan warrior brethren from Helm's Deep was not so fortunate and fell to the orcs' piercing blades. Chopping blades. Then the duel moved to the Warg Rider and another warrior of Rohan, supported by the Himlingus, both wielding spears, and the Warg Rider was felled. A protracted duel. Gurgling his life essence on the sands of the Isen. Another Uruk-hai, slain by the sword of a warrior of Rohan, falling upon the sands of the Isen once again. The sands of the Isen were running red blood this day. Theodred, winning the duel and knocking his Uruk-hai opponent prone. Theodred did slay his Uruk-hai foe, bloodying his sword. And the wounded Grimbold did make a duel upon another Uruk-hai, pushing them back in combat, and he too slew another Uruk-hai with his sword and axe. The next Isengard has lost the priority, but Thrygan Wolfsbane has called the heroic move in a last-minute attempt to assassinate the young king, followed up by Elfhelm, newly arrived on the field, and Elfhelm has called the priority move as well. The roll must take place. Thrygan needs it and wins. Isengard will move first. This will ensure that Thrygan gets a duel with Theodred. He yells at the orcs, slapping several on their heads and helmets with his axe, the flat part. As they rush into battle with the Rohirrim thinly held lines at Isen. Let's get closer to take a look at Thrygan's attempt to slay the young prince, crown heir to all of Rohan, the second marshal of the Rittermark now to be the first marshal upon his father's passing. There goes Thrygan. He's made the charge. He's used up too much might, though. And the rest of the orcs pile in to consume any chance of the Rohan warriors being able to get out of this Fords of Isen to aid their prince and general. might be the last fight. The fight continues. Grimble takes out an Urukai, smashing his head off. We skip past the duel. The Rohan warrior pushes back to Urukai. The dead are piled deep on both sides. Another death as Elfhelm smashes into the Urukai line, obliterating your before him. The two orcs push one of the Helmingas out into the river about waist deep and slay him. The other Helmingas, although surrounded, trapped, holds fast, blocking all with his heavy hauberk. And now the Battle of the Hole comes down to Dryden and falls to Theodred's attacks. It is a sad day for the Dulanders, and a joyous day for Theodred and the Riders of Rohan. And there, Theodred floats, blood issuing from the 3 wounds given him. Fate did not save him twice. 3 rolls lays him low. The rest of the Urukai flee, fading. Several days later, the survivors showing up at Isengard and Dunan. A joyous day for Rohan.
Well, there it is. That was crazy. It's my first project like this. I'm Sandy from Gobbo Town, and I really liked this game and decided to make this basically narrative movie kind of for the game. Everything was rolled out. From my own gaming experience, been in it a long time, and I was just thinking, every time we see a battle report, it's got like the dice tray is the major part of it, and people banter back and forth, and I don't know. I wanted to give you guys something different, some story, and took a lot of technology to do this. I had to buy a video camera, of course, and voice modulators, and sound effect, freaking everything. Technology was really crazy. It's been about a month in the making. It took me about 3 weeks to paint all those figures up, which some people think is super fast. It probably is, but I've been doing it for a while. So 3 weeks there, and then about another 4 days of filming, and I am so sick of this battle. But it was good. I love the game, and but I've had to watch this thing to edit it. Even was editing took a whole day, and I was like, wow, this is killing me. And I started making errors at the end. You can tell I couldn't get my names right. I was calling what's his face, Grimbold. I called him Eckenbrand for all turn and had to redo turn 4. I'm like, Eckenbrand, but it's just crazy. Anyways, if you like it, cool, that's awesome. If you don't, go watch some of the other videos. No hating. And definitely, I will do this again and give you guys another video. I picked this one and because I always thought the films didn't cover it. And I'm like, what happened there? And I played the straight up scenario straight out of Rohan at War. And I think that I got the Rohans. I was for both sides. I love both these armies. And I think Theodred had a great first turn because he pulled back. Because I'm like, geez, got to save this guy because everything's against him. And yet, he had that great last turn. And then the Rohan reinforcements came in pretty early. They didn't make it on the first roll. And then, man, I think we rolled a 6 on it. And then they came boiling in. And even though they didn't really participate as much, Elfhelm just bringing his might to a depleted might force was crazy. And I thought Vrasku would be a lot more powerful, but he wasn't very much in there. Thryden, of course, had some bad rolls in his last duel with Theodred. But Anyway, keep on gaming out there, and hope you had fun. Thanks. Bye.
Double Town.